Hello, welcome to today's class. Today I will be teaching you about keyframes again, but it's going to be a kind of more expanded, slightly more advanced version of keyframes. Here you can see in this video, we have three different circles that are all moving from left to right in three different ways. So we have the blue circle, which is moving from left to right in a linear fashion. So it's just it's just starting and moving and stopping. And then we have the red circle, which is starting slowly and then speeding up towards the end. And then we have the green circle, which is starting slowly, speeding up, but then slowing down towards the end. So they all arrive at the same point, at the same time, and at the same point, but in three different ways. So that's what we're going to learn today, and it's probably going to be quite a quick one. So I'm going to go into After Effects. I'm going to open that up. And here we have the project that I was using. So you can see we have these three layers, and we've also got an audio layer down here, but we've got these three blue layers, and they're the three circles. And I can press play, and it's basically what we were just looking at right in the beginning. And you can see down here, I'll stop that. You can see down here, these are the keyframes, as you know, but then we've got two different kinds of keyframes. So we've got this one that's a diamond, that's the one you'll be familiar with, but then we've got this one that's kind of like an hourglass. And these are basically the two things we're going to look at today. The hourglass one is called Easy Ease, and it means it means you can change the speed of the animation coming from and to the keyframe. Okay, so I'm actually going to delete this. I'm going to delete that composition. I'm going to delete the music as well. So now we've just got a blank canvas. And so we create a new composition like normal. So I don't know if I've told you before, but this little button down here, you can click it and that makes a new composition. That brings up this composition settings window. Maybe I have said that before, I'm not sure. But anyway, we can call it whatever we want. We're going to call it animated circles. Cool. And yeah, HD, 1920, 1080, that's all fine. So right, we've got this composition. And so one thing we haven't looked at yet is shape layers. Maybe we did, I can't remember. But anyway, so I want to get some circles. And I don't need to make them in another program or and bring them in. I can make kind of shapes and circles and any kind of blocky objects easily in After Effects. One way to do that is to use the pen tool up here, and you can click, as long as you're not selected on anything, but I'll go into that later. You can basically click and you can draw your thing. You can also so you can click and drag, and that will make a curved line, but I'm going to go into this in the next video because we're going to go into masking, which involves the pen tool a lot more. And then when you complete it, then you've got a thing, and this comes up. It's called shape layer, and now we have this shape basically. Another way to do that is to use this little tool, which is basically the shape tool. You can click and hold it, and you get on the little icon, you can click and hold it down. So that means you get these options. You can do rectangle and different types of stuff. And so I'm going to choose the ellipse tool because that means I can make a circle. And if I click and hold shift and drag, then I make a perfect circle. Cool. So now I've got a circle, and I can change the look of this circle because right now it's kind of this green and pink thing, but up here fill and stroke. Fill is the color inside the shape, and stroke is the outline color. So I'm gonna copy what I did before. I'm gonna make it blue on the inside, and I think it was yellow on the outside, right? Cool. So now I've got this this circle, and I'm gonna make it a bit. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. So I've got a kind of smaller circle, and cool. So now we've got a piece of like an object to work with. So I'm gonna drag it over here, and I'm gonna make some keyframes. So I'm gonna go into transform and position, and there, and then I'm gonna go just like, I don't know, a second and a half, and I'm gonna drag it, and holding shift so I can do it in a straight line. I'm gonna drag it over here, and also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this bar thing, the work area. I'm gonna drag it, and I'm gonna hold shift as I drag it, so it'll snap to the keyframe, like that. So now I've got this little area tells it how much it's gonna play, and then it'll just loop from there. So I'm gonna hit spacebar, and now I've got this circle going from left to right in a linear way, right? So it's like, it's not speeding up or slowing down, it's just going from one keyframe to another in just like the most linear fashion, linear way possible. So that's fine. So we know that's what we looked at in the first video. What I'm going to do now is copy this layer and paste it. So now I've got two shape layers, and I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is, okay, no, I'm not. So I've got another shape layer, but I'm gonna delete these keyframes, and I'm gonna drag this one down here. So now so this one's still animating, but if I press play now, only that one's animating because I deleted the keyframes on this layer below, right? So I'm going to change the color up here. I'm going to change the fill color to red. Yeah, and then I'm going to put in some keyframes again. So I'm going to hit position like that, and then I'm going to go to the end where this one stops, and I'm going to drag that so it's in line with that. Yeah, cool. And so now I've got the same thing. It's like two circles doing the same linear thing. But what we had in that video that I showed you at the beginning is this circle, the red circle, starts slowly and then gathers speed and hits the last keyframe. And the way that I do that is I right click, or like a control click on the keyframe, and I go down to keyframe assistant, and I click easy ease. And so what easy ease has done is I'll show you actually. Like, so what easy ease has done is there's this other view of how to view things, and it's called the graph editor. It's a little bit more advanced, so we don't need to like look at that yet. But so if I look at this blue circle and I click position here, oh, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so this red line is basically the path of the circle, and you can see this is like perfectly linear. So it's just a straight line. But if I show the position of the red layer, now you can see that it's kind of ramping. It's going, it's starting off slowly, and then it's speeding up. Or maybe it's that way. I'm not sure which way it is for you on the screen. But yeah, so it starts off slowly and it speeds up. So if we play that, so that's what it's doing. It's the red is behind at the beginning, but then it hits at the same time. And so that's really useful. That's really useful for like making things like have a more naturalistic kind of movement. And so I'm gonna copy this again, and I'm gonna copy and paste it, and I'm gonna delete those keyframes, and I'm gonna drag this one down, and then I'm gonna make it green. Cool. And then I'm gonna redo the keyframes as well. Move that over here and drag it over here. Cool. You can also in After Effects, like if you do Command R, or if you go up to here and I think it's View and show rulers, so you can have these rulers down the top and side, and that's really useful. So you can drag from the left You can make a ruler like that, and you can drag from the top as well. So so you can get things like perfectly in line, and you can use like left and right and up and down to like move the position of things. So now they should be, yeah, they're perfectly aligned, right? So that's cool. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna right click, and I can also, so I'm gonna put easy ease on this green one as well, but I'm gonna do it on both keyframes, so it ramps up from the beginning and ramps down at the end. So I can select two keyframes, and I can right click and keyframe assistant easy ease. Right, so now I can see the keyframes here, and I can play. So you can see if I'm gonna toggle these two off. So I'm just looking at the green one. Now we can see that it starts and it's slow, and then it speeds up in the middle, and then it slows back down at the end. Yeah, so that's the easy ease. That means that you can. It's just good to play with it, and good to know how to use it, because if you do move things around, very often you're going to want to kind of like change the speed of the movement. And also, yeah, this graph editor is possibly like quite a good thing to experiment with as well, if you fancy it. Also, another way to do it is, well, yes, all right, so like let's really quickly just look at the graph editor. I'm going to toggle these two off again, and so I can just see the green one. There's two different views. Basically, with the graph editor, whatever you click here, it shows, like, so if you click scale, you'll get the keyframes of the scale, but if you click position, so now I can view the position keyframes, and there's two ways of viewing it, and they can be useful in different circumstances. If I look at this, there's a value graph, which basically these points here are dictate, like, or they show you what values the keyframes are on. And then there's the speed graph, which is kind of like a line which tells you how fast the object is traveling. With this easy ease thing, it's quite easy to use the speed graph. So I can select the keyframe down here, because now these keyframes are basically here on the graph, and I can increase the like steepness of this speed graph. So now if I press play, it's gonna be really slow at the beginning, and then it's gonna ramp up really quickly, and then go back. As we can see, so it's like, and I can make it even more, and then I can also like ramp up that one, so like the way it lands. So now it's gonna like be really slow, really fast in the middle, and really slow at the end again, like that. Yeah. So that's kind of that is good. That's a bit more advanced stuff, but it's also like, it's good to know. And also, all right, so I got a little, someone asked in the lesson the other day about how to introduce a little bit more like naturalistic kind of movement, or like almost noise into the movement, so it looks a bit more like real or handheld or something, or it like moves a bit randomly. A way to do that, and it's kind of off topic a little bit, but in the effects and presets, there's a thing called expressions in After Effects, which is basically like bits of code. You can kind of code in After Effects, which is like, it means you can do some kind of intense stuff. But if you search in the effects and presets for something called wiggle, then you have all these different, it's an animation preset basically, is what they call it. And if you select wiggle position and you drag it onto this layer, what this will do is basically like introduce a wiggle onto the thing. So I'm going to press play. Now you can see it's kind of not going straight, and up here in the effects controls up here, like where it's got the parameters for all the effects, I can change the wiggle speed and the wiggle amount. So wiggle speed means how many times per second it wiggles. So right now it's 1, so it's just moving like once per second. But I can say I want it to move like 20 times a second, and and the wiggle amount is how much it wiggles. Like, so right now it's 50 pixels, but I can tell it to move like 200 pixels. So now it's gonna, oh, I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do like 400. So now it's gonna move 400 pixels 20 times a second. So I guess it's gonna be quite erratic. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. So that means you can kind of make something that's very subtly realistic kind of thing, or make something that's kind of like very random and noisy. So I can say, I can make it just go 1 times a second again, but 400 pixels. So it'll be a bit more chill, but it'll move around a lot. Yeah. Cool. And that's yeah, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff to know. And that's the end of this lesson. Hey. Oh. Hey, I don't know how long that was frozen for, but let's hope not too long. Okay, so I hope you learned some good stuff just then. And so next lesson I'm going to go into masking. So and it kind of uses this stuff as well. So hopefully it's all clear and fun. And yeah, cool. Thanks.